What's going on, powerstroke family? I was going to touch on today a little bit about pushing out your radius arm or your trail arm bushings. There's a couple videos on site with guys doing it off the truck. Makes it look a lot easier than it actually is. Show you kind of things that you need, because the actual part to press this thing is like ridiculously priced. I think it's like $500 or $1,000 or something like that for realistically like a pipe and and probably like some 5/8 thread. All right, so I'm going to show you today real fast what I came up with. Real similar to the other guys on here, so I do give homage to those guys that made those videos. So I want to show you a little something here. So this is what we're working with. I got one of the bushings out already. Okay, this lower bushing here. It's pretty cut and dry. Kind of a pain in the ass to pop out. There's your press point. Okay. This is what I got here. Okay, this is a 4-inch coupler piece, so inside diameter is probably about like 4 1/4, 4 1/2, a little over 4 1/4, like 4 5/16 inside, so it fits perfectly over top of it. All right, this here is a 2-inch. I tried this before. I did have a reducing coupler, and I had, you know, some I used like 3 or 4 of these. Pretty much it just blew right through it. I couldn't get enough pressing power, so I'm using my wheel bearing press. All right, I'm pretty much just using these plates here just to kind of seal up this hole so I have a good press point. This is an 8-inch 5/8 bolt. That's pretty much all I've used there. What else I got here? And then I would recommend you picking up, this is a 3/4 inch plate. All right, and I'll show you right here. Let me do this with one hand, but pretty much fits, if I can get it to get in there. Yeah, of course, while you're starting the video, shit don't want to work. But yeah, it pretty much fits right inside of there. So once you get this bushing, you know, you press pretty much to the point, because this piece right here is going to push up against this part of the bushing. All right, hold on. It's going to push up on this portion of the bushing right here, but it's only going to push until it hits that piece of metal. All right, on the actual axle frame. So, because if you just try to push on the inside of the bushing, I mean, it's rubber, especially if they're shot, it's just going to like suck in, but it's not enough press to push it out. So you get one of these little 3/4 inch plates. It fits right in there. I do a reverse. I put this little nipple on this. So you do see it's not going to sit flush. So it is going to press into a point. And once it starts to press, actually it's the other way around, excuse me, sorry. Like this. And once it starts to press in, it'll grab this outer edge and push the bushing the remaining of the way out. Now the interesting is going to be that driver's side. Right up in top of there, because it's right in front of your transfer case. So I'm going to press out these other ones. I mean, the pressing portion is pretty easy. I mean, if you found that other video online, it's 1, 2, 3. Put these plates on or whatever, and then pressing the bushings back in is pretty simplistic as well. I will say that I did have like a I want to say it was like a 6-inch pipe or a 5-inch pipe, but the inside diameter was like crazy. I think it was like 5 1/2 or 5 3/4, way too big of a piece of a pipe. So what you want is a 4-inch, inside diameter. It comes like 4 1/4 inside. This is just like a 4-inch coupler. I'm no plumber, man, so if I don't get this shit right, but I do know when I picked this up at the hardware store, I brought my tape measure, measured the inside diameter to make sure it was bigger than 4 inches, because this piece right here, this is 4 inches from outside to outside, maybe just a smidge less, but it's 4 inches. Okay. So you need something bigger than that for it to push through. All right, I think inside here and here is 3 1/2 inches, but this little 3/4 inch plate is freaking perfect size to fit right in the backside. So when you're pushing it through, you're going to get it to a point. Let me just reiterate this. So this is going to push, okay, until this is flush with the mount, and then it's not going to push anymore, clearly, because now you're hitting the mount of the axle. So then you need to take this plate off, put this plate on, put your bolt on in the back there, and push through, and it's going to like literally just line up. Now this doesn't sit perfectly, of course, it's a little bit bigger. So when you put your bolt through there, like you're gonna have to kind of like eyeball line it up to make sure when you start pressing, like you don't want it like sitting down, eyeball press it up, and it's gonna push it right. I'm gonna do these sides, and I'm gonna try to come back on this last one and show you how I get that one out, because that's the motherfucker. So stay tuned. He's right here. All right, I just disconnected my shock mount. The hardest one that you're gonna find is this upper one. Okay, this is also the side that these bushings don't press all the way in. All right, they only press into this point. They don't press flush like the other side. All right, so this was a 2-inch plate that I had. I had to cut a little angle off the bottom. Literally, this is 4-inch PVC, and that 4-inch PVC, when you get it lined up, that's what I cut off, that little piece right there. All right, if you want to have the same kind of thing. I also had to cut off the screw-in portion of this, okay? And that's because of how tight it is back there. All right. I also found it, you can see, I mean, I dinged up this thing pretty good. That's my screwdriver, just banging in at the edges. These things were in there, man. They did not want to come out at all. The other side was a breeze. All right. This is what I'm using. It's a 5/8 1/8-inch bolt. All right, got a couple of shim pieces in here. Make sure you have plenty of shims. I mean, this is from a ball bearing kit. Worked out great just for shimming, because back here you don't have a lot of room. All right, you can also use all thread. You'd cut it down in that portion, and you're just gonna push away, man. Like I said, this is 4-inch pipe. You can see just the pressing it bent it all the shit, but it got it out. 4-inch pipe. So that's the best thing I can tell you, man. If you're using some homemade kit, this is a 2-inch plate. I had to trim off that back piece. I had to cut this because there was too much room back there, or there's not enough room back there. And then I put something like this over top of it, and that's how I pushed out my bushing. And you have to cut these down pretty small because they won't fit in here. All right, well, that helps on y'all trucks. Stay easy, man. See you on the next one.